I am a senior consultant in Kinetic Consulting, and I am proudly the Chief Marketing Officer of We Make Change.
I'm from Cork, which is in the south of Ireland, and I'm from a very small rural town. And back in 2016, I was a marine engineer. I was sailing at sea, I was working, and my brother Alex had just turned 18. He went to live in Cork City and work there for a bit. And one night he ended up going to a house party in the city centre with his friends. They tried a drug. He ended up having cardiac arrest and he was brought to the hospital. 4 days later, he sadly passed away. He was pronounced brain dead. So after that, I kind of made the decision to come home and to be with my mother, and then also set up Alex's adventure because I wanted his story to be a learning curve for a lot of people. And I knew it had a lot of power and it could save lives. I kind of think that it's really ironic that my brother died and then I found out what the real problem was. We had a really bad education system in relation to substance use. And so I wanted to change that and help young people to understand all the dangers, all the choices that they're going to face when it comes to drugs, and to give them information to make the choice informatively for themselves.
I guess after so many years in corporate roles, I really felt the need to try to do something and get engaged beyond just occasionally sending a check. So I did my research and I bumped into James Sancton, We Make Change organization, and I found it was simply inspirational, fantastic what this young man had decided to do with his life. He was looking for a voluntary CMO, and I did my application and I made my case of why someone my generation could be of value to him and his movement. Kindly so, he gave me an interview, and the rest is history.
So James from the CEO of We May Change reached out to me and he said, "Oh, I've got this really cool platform. If you need anybody to help you with things, just send us what you need." And I looked it up and I thought, well, this is actually an amazing thing that exists. So it's for social enterprises, that need skilled people. So I put out the call for, at the time, I suppose it was I was kind of very vague because, again, I didn't even know what I needed. So I needed somebody to help me with marketing, design, and I put that out. And Maurizio was one of the people that had submitted his CV. So I looked at his CV and I remember being like, oh my God, wow, like this person is so, so skilled and they want to help me. So I reached back out to Maurizio and that's kind of how we started the relationship.
The first minute I met her, I was so inspired and so wow, what have I been doing the last 30 years of my life? Look at what this young lady decided to do with hers. And I've been trying to help every way I can ever since.
It was an amazing experience to come in and, to meet Will and to meet the rest of the Kinetic team and to share my story, my mission and my vision with them. It was something that I had never assumed that I would do or an avenue that I looked at. But Mauricio was like, this could be potentially really, really great. So I did it and I made so many connections and so many other follow-on things happened from it. So it was a fantastic experience for me.
It opened the world to me into something you don't really get to experience when you're in corporate, where you as a, kind of seasoned professional need to push yourself because this is not the system brand manager that you would be used to manage in a corporation. This is an entrepreneur.
We kind of teamed up and he was mentoring me in the space of telling my story and being comfortable with my own story, because for the last kind of 4 years I've been focusing on my brother's story and I've been hiding myself. And Maurizio was like, you have a story and this story is very powerful. So as uncomfortable as it was, he had challenged me, he mentored me, and we did a lot of presentations. And then last December, we did the very first one, which was with Solistica. And it was 90 of their senior staff. And that experience was just unbelievable. I can't put it into words. And, he's just been there for me in the sense of business guidance, insight, and into how corporates work, all of that kind of stuff, which is invaluable because I didn't have that before.
What We Make Change will give you and your employees is the opportunity to use what you've been working so hard to develop in terms of business skills. Give a little bit of that to someone who's going to take it run with it, and it's going to make such a difference in the world that it's going to get your mind blown away.
I suppose one of my biggest challenges as a social enterprise is always, how do I make myself sustainable and scalable? And the business model that we had come up with through this was almost by accident, but it just happened to work, was that I go into corporates and I give them keynote speeches about resilience and, things that really apply to them, especially during COVID-19. And, off the back of that, when I get paid from that, I put all that money back into Alex's venture to reinvest and make it better for the students in the communities and reach more young people.
I think the opportunities coming out of the partnership between We Make Change and Kinetic are endless.
I'm currently finalizing the e-learning program, which was the vision about 3 years ago. And I'm at the kind of final stages of development, which will help me scale it much faster and globally. And then on to some really fantastic, cool things in this space, because there's so much more to be done. And I'm really looking forward to how the future will pan out.
When Kinetic put all the years of experience in business and growing businesses and consulting to the service of the 400 plus social entrepreneurs that want to see that change happening, I think, and I'm convinced, magic things will happen. We will make our little contribution to the change that this world needs to see.